G'day people, welcome to Perth Watch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I am featuring this piece from Straum. So I don't have any packaging because actually this is a prototype that is in circulation, and they haven't really circulated it with the planned packaging, but it is quite a unique watch. So this brand seems to be, focused on really quite special dial work. That's all the pieces that I can see. Straum, and this watch, guys, is the Jan Mayen series, which is inspired by their experiences on an expedition that they planned to that island off the coast of Greenland, which I understand is actually part of Norway. In terms of the actual dials that they have produced, there is a little bit of a falling sand pattern that they've produced for the black and the white dials, and then a bit of a leaf-like pattern that they've produced for the blue and the green, and the red is a bit of a unique one that represents the lava of the volcano. So you can take a look closer at the pictures they have online if you wish. The piece I have in hand is of course the green. This is the Jan Mayen green, representing, I guess, flora, plants or mosses of the island. In terms of pricing, it is really quite up there. The recommended retail is 1600 USD. I suppose that this might go on sale, but I'm not familiar with the brand, so let me know if you know more about how they sell their pieces here. Okay, first up, guys, let's talk about the movement as I usually do. So the movement in here is something I don't think I've ever seen before in my channel. This is LJP G101. It is a Joux-Perret movement. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, but it is a Swiss-made movement in a Swiss-made watch. High beat, as you can see there, 24 joules. And the thing that is of particular note is that it's got a pretty high power reserve, 68-hour power reserve, so close to 3-day power reserve. It is a true no-date movement. It does hack, it does manual wind. And in terms of accuracy, they say it's rated as a Soine. I don't know what that means, but it is dialed in pretty damn good, plus 1 second per day in the 2 weeks or so that I've had this running. It is pretty darn good accuracy that they've got this running. Okay, moving on to the casework here. So the case here is a 39.5mm diameter case. The bezel itself is 39, slightly narrower, and that's what they've stipulated on the website, 39mm, but that's really the bezel. Thickness is pretty good, including the crystal there is 11.5mm in terms of thickness. 16mm lug width, but if you take a look at that, it's not really meaningful to talk about the lug width because it's an integrated bracelet here, okay? But if you really want to know, it's 16mm between the hidden lugs there. Lug to lug distance, okay, if you take it between my thumbs there, is 46 or 45.6mm actually, if I measure it very closely with my calipers here. Overall weight with a couple of links that I've removed is 136 grams. So, substantial, but, not heavy by any means. It's actually a very comfortable weight for me on my wrist. Finishing wise, we have radial brushing on the bezel here. We have longitudinal brushing on the top surface as well as the side surfaces. And we have polish bevels or shoulders on the bezel, on the watch itself, and on the underside shoulder or bevel as well. So there is some differential finishing, which is pretty well done on this watch. You can see the display case back there is a full screw down display case back. It's got a screw down sign crown, and the water rating on this watch is 100 meters, which really does make it, usable as an everyday watch if you wish to do that. Now, moving on to that dial here. So the dial here is really the star of the show. I think really that's what's the intention is. It's a unique stamp textured dial. They say there's a stamping process which takes more than one stamp and multiple coats of metallic colors, as well as a gloss finish on top. And that gloss finish presumably allows us to paint the chapter ring around the periphery as well as paint the brand name. It's got applied 12 indices that you can see there, as well as applied Straum logo just under the 12 o'clock position. Hands wise, it's got fairly simple rhodium plated baton hands and a kind of a paddle counterbalance on the seconds there. In terms of lume, it's got blue superluminova in all spots as well as the 3 hands. They don't actually say it's BGW9, but presumably that is what it is. Okay, moving on then. Right, the glass on top is a double dome sapphire. It's almost a box sapphire, and it is really quite nicely done. Hopefully you can appreciate the distortion that it gives you as you rotate, in various, angles here. Really quite a nicely done crystal, I think. The bracelet, right, moving on to the bracelet then, unique, integrated. I want to call this an H-link bracelet, but it really isn't like anything else. It's mainly brushed, but it's got polished shoulders in those center links. Hopefully you can appreciate that, the center bits there. It is a pin and collar adjustment system, which they say is really gives them security, as well as being able to maintain that bracelet construction thinner than they would with screws. That's what they've explained it as. The bracelet is 24 millimeters close to the case, and it tapers down to 18 millimeters at the narrowest portion. The clasp is, at this stage, it is a simple push button release butterfly clasp there. Okay, so before I give a wrist shot for this one, I will put it side by side here with the ring. And I have to say that they've asked me to put it, the bracelet on this and review it on this because there is some manufacturing fault here on this prototype, so it doesn't quite fit the bracelet as well. But I gotta say, the red, the red is gorgeous. The red is the one that I would definitely choose over the green here. Let me know what you think, but this is really quite a standout. The texture is slightly different, right? Even though it is actually still a stamp texture, hopefully you can see it is a different texture, and the color is, just pops out at you. It is gorgeous, and I think possibly the star of the entire collection. But let me know your thoughts on the particular colors and what you might go for. Okay, wrist shot now for you guys. Let's just pop it on and quickly show it to you. And here it is, the Straum Jan Mayen green on my 17 centimeter wrist. Really quite slim, that bracelet there, how it profiles onto the wrist. And remember, it's only 11.5 thick, and it's less than 46 millimeter lug to lug there. Really fits the wrist and hugs the wrist very nicely. It is really quite a comfortable watch and a nice profile watch to wear. You can wear it in dress situations. It's thin enough to go under shirt cuffs. So really, well done on that to them. Now, what have I enjoyed about this? It is definitely an interesting piece with really a quite unique and beautiful dial. It is conversation piece. People have looked at this and asked about it because that dial is striking, particularly the red, I have to say, when I did originally have that on the wrist. The crystal is gorgeous. I've showed you how that distortion works. It's a quality build all around, I think with all the expected specs, sapphire and whatnot. The finishing is very good, no major complaints here. The finishing is really quite well done, and the slimness, I guess, I really quite appreciate as well. It's something I really like that they've kept it at under 12. It's only 11.5 millimeters thick, and it has that micro brand holy grail that so many micro brands struggle to achieve, which is original design, originality. This is not really copying anything else. I mean, you can say that this is like one of the Vacheron Constantin bracelets, maybe very slightly, but I don't think it's exactly like anything, and I like that they've gone fully original here. The movement inside is a Swiss movement. It's a Swiss-made watch. It's really quite well featured, I think, with that power reserve, and it's bang on accurate. I don't know whether that's the movement quality, that the way they've regulated it, or the company has done it, but it's bang on accurate, right? It's really quite well done. And overall, this watch, potentially an everyday watch. If you wanted to use it every day, you know, it can take you swimming and it can follow you all the way to the boardroom without any major troubles, I reckon. Any weaknesses? Well, not much to say, really. Look, butterfly clasps, some people really don't like them. This one doesn't have any micro adjustment. They do say that they are working on a micro adjust capability for production, so it would be interesting to see what they achieve, and that would, of course, take away one minor gripe. It is an integrated bracelet, and the way it's done means that, you know, well, you're not going to be able to swap this out very easily and match this very easily with anything else except for what they give you. So a slight weakness there. The rotor, on the watch. Okay, hopefully you can hear that and see that definitely is unidirectional winding, you know, like some of the cheaper Miyotas. Slight gripe there, you know, this could have been better if it was a bi-directional winder. You know, this is just a slight gripe that some people will really not like. Okay, so overall, what is the major question then? Of course, a lot of you will be thinking that price, right? 1,600, is it worth it? Well, you know, I think that's up for debate. It is originally designed. There's a lot of work that goes into the dial, so we got to pay for some of that. But I suspect that some people would think that 1,600 maybe a push too far. But I look forward to your thoughts. Let me know what you think. You can be looking at Tissot, definitely going into Rado and even lower end Longines at these prices. Is that worth a micro brand with original design? Some people would say so, and others perhaps may have reservations. So guys, thank you again for joining me. Let me know what you think below as always, and I will catch you next time.